Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short Story 602, A Quiet Tune, Words with a Silent T, Intermediate. A story incorporating words which are pronounced with a silent T. Arthur was an old man with a heavy mortgage and a small house that felt too big. He often sat by his window, looking at the town's ancient castle on the hill, and thought about the past. Just down the street from him was a small dance studio where the local ballet company trained. One day, he saw a young dancer sitting on the steps, looking very stressed. He knew her name was Elara, and she was preparing for her big debut performance. He tried to speak to her, offering a friendly nod, but their initial rapport was strained. She was too focused and tense to engage. He saw her again a few days later, struggling to fasten a red ribbon to a large floral bouquet. The flowers were for a special Christmas wreath. Arthur walked over slowly. "Let me help you with that," he said, his voice soft. The tension in her shoulders seemed to soften as he expertly tied the ribbon. "Thank you," she said, finally looking at him. "It's for the big Christmas Eve buffet." "Ah, you're the chef, aren't you?" Arthur asked. "My wife and I used to love cooking together. We even had a classic Chevrolet we'd take on road trips, stopping at every little place to try the local food." Elara smiled. "I'm a gourmet chef. It's a lot of pressure, especially with the main course. I'm preparing a delicate fillet of fish, and it has to be perfect." Arthur thought for a moment. "I have something that helps me when I'm feeling overwhelmed." He put 2 fingers to his lips and let out a clear, gentle whistle. It was a short, simple tune, light as a feather. Elara paused, closing her eyes. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "You can't force perfection," he said. "Just listen to the quiet tune inside your head." The night of the performance and the buffet, Arthur was there. He watched Elara, no longer stressed, glide through the dance. Afterwards, he saw her serving the guests. She spotted him and brought him a small plate. "Here, try the fish." I didn't have to force it to be perfect. It just was. The fillet was the best thing he had ever tasted. He smiled, and as he ate, he could hear a small, happy whistle in the distance. Elara's debut was a complete success, and so was her meal. Their friendship, born from a simple tune and a shared moment of kindness, was just beginning. Vocabulary notes. Debut, a noun, the first public appearance or performance of a person or a thing. From the story, she was preparing for her big debut performance. Similar words: premiere, first appearance, launch. Example sentence: the singer's debut album was a huge hit, selling millions of copies. Rapport, noun, a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. From the story, but their initial rapport was strained. Similar words: connection, bond, affinity. Example sentence: the teacher quickly established a good rapport with her students, making them feel comfortable in the classroom. Fillet, noun, a boneless piece of meat or fish. It can also be used as a verb to mean to remove the bones from meat or fish. From the story, I'm preparing a delicate fillet of fish. Similar words: steak, cut, chop. Example sentence: she asked the butcher to fillet the chicken for her. Gourmet, adjective, relating to or involving high-quality food or cooking. It can also be used as a noun to describe a connoisseur of good food. From the story, I'm a gourmet chef. Similar words: Epicurean, fine, high quality, culinary. Example sentence: we went to a gourmet restaurant for our anniversary and had a fantastic meal. Softens, the verb, to make or become less severe, harsh, or intense. From the story, the tension in her shoulders seemed to soften. Similar words: lessen, ease, alleviate, relax. Example sentence: the afternoon rain began to soften the dust on the road. Story written by Gemini Pro AI. Image created by 1minute.ai. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, Drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.
So, what in the world does an old man, a stressed-out dancer, and a castle have to do with the English language? Well, in today's explainer, we're going to unwrap a story that actually holds a secret to why some English words are spelled so darn strangely.
You know how some letters in English words are a bit shy? Yeah, they show up in the spelling, but when you actually say the word out loud, poof, they're completely silent. They're kind of the quiet ones in the background.
Okay, take the letter T, for example. Try to hear it in these words: castle, listen, whistle. You can't, right? And this phantom T is actually a hidden clue in the story we're exploring today, which, believe me, is packed with these tricky words.
So our story, A Quiet Tune, kicks off with two people who could not be more different, living on the same street, and their lives are just about to cross in a really wonderful way.
On one side, you've got Arthur. He's an older man, very calm, often just sitting by his window looking out at this ancient castle in their town. And on the other side, we have Elara. She's young, she's super stressed out, and she is laser-focused on getting ready for her big debut.
Now, what's really interesting here is how their story starts. It's not with some easy friendship, no. It begins with a bit of a challenge. Their first meeting is, well, it's a little awkward.
So picture this. Arthur, he tries to be friendly, right? Just a simple nod. But Elara is so tense, so wrapped up in her own head, that she can't really engage with him. That initial connection, that rapport, it's just not there.
And this word, rapport, it perfectly describes what they're missing. It's that easy, harmonious click you feel with someone, where you just get each other and the conversation flows. Right now, Arthur and Elara, they have zero rapport.
You can think of it as a bond or having a natural affinity with someone. Like when a great teacher builds an instant rapport with their students, that's what we're talking about.
But then, a simple act of kindness completely changes the dynamic. Arthur sees Elara struggling with a bouquet of flowers, and he just steps in to help. And just like that, you can literally see the stress melt away from her. This one small gesture immediately helps her relax.
And this is a perfect example of the word soften. See, it's not just about something being physically soft, it means to make something less intense. Arthur's simple act of kindness was all it took to soften her stress.
And you can use this word in all sorts of ways. A calm voice can soften a really tense conversation. Or, like the story mentions, a bit of rain can soften hard ground.
Okay. So now that they've finally connected, their conversation starts to reveal the incredible pressure Elara is really under. And it turns out she's juggling a lot more than just dancing.
So Elara explains that on top of her big dance performance, she's also a gourmet chef, and she's in charge of a massive Christmas Eve buffet. The pressure is on, big time, especially with one very specific dish.
So when she calls herself a gourmet chef, what does she mean? Basically high-end, top quality, fancy cooking. It's a word that screams excellence.
And that fillet of fish she's worried about, that's just a prime, boneless cut. But listen to how you say it. Fill-lay. Just like in castle, that T is totally silent. There it is again, another one of our shy little letters.
So why all this pressure? Why is she so stressed? Well, because this whole event, the dancing and the dinner, is her big debut. It's her very first time showing off her talents on such a huge stage. A debut is a premiere, it's a launch, it's that huge critical first time an artist, an actor, or yeah, even a chef, presents their work to the world. Think an author's debut novel or a singer's debut album. It's their grand entrance. Seeing how much she's struggling,
Arthur shares some simple wisdom. He whistles this gentle tune and tells her, don't force it. Don't try to be perfect. Just listen to that quiet tune inside you. And you know what? That advice helps her let go of the pressure and find success.
So this whole story wasn't just about Arthur and Elara. It actually shows us a much better way to make new words stick in our heads. So here's the secret. Here's the deal. Seeing words inside a story gives them emotion. It gives them context. Rapport isn't just a definition on a page anymore. It's that awkward feeling between Arthur and Elara. That context, that feeling, is what makes words stick way better than just memorizing a vocabulary list. You see them in action, and that's how you really, truly learn them.
Thanks for joining this explainer. We'll leave you with this final thought. Just like Elara, we all face those high-pressure moments. So, what's the quiet tune you listen to when you need to find your focus?